The house felt hollow in the days after the funeral. Every corner whispered memories, and the stillness pressed in like a thick fog. I sat at the kitchen table, hands wrapped around a mug of coffee gone cold, staring into nothing. The silence didn't comfort. It clung to me like grief woven into fabric. Just as the heaviness felt unbearable, a knock at the door broke through the quiet. Slowly, I stood and opened it. There stood Jason, my son's best friend. His eyes were different. Now darker, weighed down by more than sorrow. He wasn't the carefree boy who used to crash on our couch playing video games. He had grown, taller, stronger, quieter. "I'm sorry," he said, voice low, deeper than I remembered. He held out a container. "I brought something for you." The warmth of the casserole in my hands contrasted the chill in my chest. I murmured, "A thank you," and stepped aside. The house, as if starved for life, seemed to breathe him in. In the kitchen, he set the food down and turned to me. "How are you doing?" he asked softly. The simple question cracked something inside me. I exhaled, voice barely holding. "I'm getting by." He reached out, gently taking my hand. No rush, no awkwardness. I didn't pull away. I couldn't. It had been so long since I'd felt anything but loss. "Do you want me to stay a while?" he asked, almost hesitant. I nodded. "Please." We moved to the living room, surrounded by memories. The conversation began light, his new job, how the neighborhood had changed, but slowly shifted into something deeper. He asked about my husband, what I missed most. I surprised myself by answering. The quiet laughter at night, the way a simple glance could say everything. Jason didn't try to fix it. He just listened, with his full attention, with care. When I finally grew silent, he leaned in and said, "It's okay to miss him and still need someone beside you." The words landed like truth. Tears threatened, but I held them back. He wasn't looking at me with pity. He saw me. Without thinking, I reached for his hand again. His touch was warm and grounding. When he brushed a strand of hair from my face, a quiet shiver moved through me. "You're beautiful," he whispered, as if realizing it for the first time. I didn't retreat. I leaned in. When our lips met, it was soft, uncertain but sincere. There was no rush, no desperation. Just a quiet surrender. A shared ache easing, every kiss, every breath felt sacred. It wasn't about filling a void, but about being present in the brokenness. I felt seen, held. Later, as dawn crept in, I woke half expecting emptiness. But Jason was still there, arm draped over me, breathing slow and steady. For a moment, I let myself believe in this unexpected comfort. Still, fear surfaced. "I'm scared," I whispered, "that this is temporary, that I'm just a moment." He looked at me and said, "You're not a mistake. What we shared wasn't pretend. You're stronger than you think. And whether or not this lasts forever, we were honest. We showed up. We tried." In the days that followed, we didn't rush anything. We took it day by day, choosing presence over promises, quiet over pressure. Love doesn't always arrive how we expect it. Sometimes it finds us in our lowest moments, in the quiet after the storm. And when it does, all it asks is that we don't turn it away. In the weeks that followed, Jason didn't become everything. He became something, a presence, a comfort, a reminder that I was still alive beneath the layers of sorrow. We didn't speak about the future much. There was an unspoken agreement between us, to honor the moment without forcing it to be more than what it was. He would visit a few evenings each week, never expected, always welcome. Sometimes we shared dinner, sometimes we just sat in silence, side by side, the TV playing in the background while our hearts rested. Grief still lived in the house. It didn't vanish. But it softened. It loosened its grip just enough to let in warmth. I found myself smiling at small things, his crooked grin when he burned toast, the way he always brought extra sugar for my coffee. I started remembering my laughter, not as a betrayal of the past, but as a gentle rebellion against despair. One evening, as the rain tapped softly against the windows, he looked over at me and asked, "Do you ever feel guilty for finding peace?" The question hung there. "All the time," I admitted, as if feeling okay means I've forgotten him, but I know I haven't. Jason nodded, eyes on the floor. "Me too. Sometimes I laugh at something dumb, and then I remember he's gone, and it feels wrong." I reached for his hand. But he wouldn't want us frozen in that moment. He'd want us to live. He smiled, just a little. Yeah, he would. That night, we didn't kiss. We didn't need to. It was enough to just sit there, fingers interlocked, breathing together. Sometimes love doesn't shout. Sometimes it just stays. Over time, I started tending to the garden again, pulled the weeds, planted fresh flowers. Life crept back in, not in a rush, but in slow, stubborn beauty. Jason helped, quietly, without asking. And when I looked at him, I didn't see my son's friend anymore. I saw a man who knew loss, who chose to stay anyway. One morning, as the sun spilled through the windows, I caught him watching me. Not with desire, with care, with clarity. "I never meant for this to happen," I whispered. "Neither did I," he replied. "But I don't regret it. Neither did I." Love didn't come dressed in certainty or wrapped in fairy tale endings. It came through a door I didn't know I'd left open, in the form of someone familiar, now unfamiliar, yet safe. It didn't fix everything, but it helped me breathe again, and maybe that was enough.